Houston's hot weather.
All right, we could do so with some tips in running in this weather. But yeah, Carl, this is not your first visit to India, right? So, what do you remember from your first time around that you came to India?
Well, the first time I came to India, I went to Pune, right? Yeah. And so I competed. So that was it. That was the only time I competed here. And it was a quick trip. I came in, I competed, and I was out really fast. But I've been here numerous times afterwards. I've been to the Taj Mahal, I've been all over the country. So it's been a lot better when I was able to spend time.
So what's your fondest memory that you have of India?
My fondest memory, that's interesting. My fondest memory was, last time I was here, before this, we had dinner with some really some important, interesting people. So I guess that was the best memory then, because it made a lot of sense. But I think the biggest thing is that when I've been able to come here, each trip's been for a different reason. So I was here with Nike a few years ago, and then of course I'm back here with Nike, and then I came here for other business, and I came here to compete. So every single time it's a different reason.
Okay, so Carl, you've been involved with the Nike family for over 2 decades now. So what are some special memories of your association with Nike? We'd love to know that.
Oh, I can't tell those. Oh my goodness gracious, I'd get in big trouble. No, it's been amazing, because I guess the biggest is to watch the evolution of Nike. When I started, Nike was obviously a company that was in the business. They were growing like crazy, but now being the biggest by far, and doing that because they focused on innovation and working for the athletes. Really, it's just been amazing to watch that happen. And so, when I started, all of my hair was dark. It was dark color.
See it here.
Yeah, it was even way before that. But yeah, it was just a whole different time, and it's just really special to still be around.
All right. So, have you been a part of the product development at Nike as the company has evolved?
Yeah, I mean, even early when I first signed with Nike, we were working on products. And the thing is that you have to make shoes, and you have to make clothing, and you have to do these things. And really, I think as a company, you have to really decide why you're making it. Are you making it to sell product, or are you making it for the athletes? And that's been very interesting, because I worked with Nike and some of the uniforms and the clothing way back in the 80s, and also shoe development. Some of the shoes I wore were, I know, for instance, in 1984, the shoes I wore were a one-off period and did, just trying to develop something new and new technology. So I've been involved in that for a long, long time. And I remember when the shot shoes came out, and I was like, wow, this is a completely different new idea. In fact, I wasn't sure they were going to allow it, and so, but they did. And so it's just been amazing that they've always focused on trying to make product great for the athlete.
So how much do you live the Nike ideology of just do it?
So
how much do I live it? Yeah.
Oh, all the time. I just me. All the time. I believe in that. When you go there and you do try something like 4 events and go to 4 Olympics and have fortunately the success that I had, you have to live like that. You have to take chances all the time and just go.
Right. And we all have gathered here because, of course, we all are runners and we love running, and you are a great inspiration to all of us here. So one advice that you would like to give to the members of the Nike Plus Run Club Mumbai that have gathered here, so any running tips that you would like to share with them?
Well, who are all the runners? I know these guys are. Well, my advice really is wonderful, because running is something you can do the rest of your life. And a lot of sports you can't do that. So you have a friend forever to start with. And when I didn't run distance, and I haven't run distance like you guys do, but I still obviously like to run. But I think when you compete, especially, make sure, like I say, everything. There's one thing that every single event you have to do is focus, and focus on not going out too fast. Because I know, when was the last race? When was the last race? Okay, took one. Are you a runner on the club? Okay. When was your last race?
6.
Not
back, like a month.
Several months back?
A month back.
Month back. So you know how when you get into a race and you get up to the starting line and it's exciting and all of that, and you're feeling good. It's like, oh, I'm ready to go. I've been warming up. And matter of fact, I'm starting to feel it too myself. You're there, and all of a sudden, and they shoot that gun, and you take off, and then you get like a half mile down, and you say, oh my God, I'm running too fast, and I'm going to be dead at the finish line. Remember those days?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really what the biggest thing is always when you're coming to the starting line, keep your focus and keep focused on the race, and really decide what do I want to accomplish today, and make your race, pace yourself and make sure you stay focused on the race, and then once you get in your rhythm, just stick with it, because the biggest thing is getting so excited you start off and get out of the rhythm of your race.
All right, thank you for all those answers, Carl. So we have coaches from the Nike Plus Run Club Mumbai. The coaches over here who would like to ask you a question. So we have Daniel Vaz here, who's the head coach of the Nike Plus Run Club in Mumbai for the last. He's one of the finest running coaches that India has had, and India has, and he's been really successful in converting a lot of non-runners into runners, and a majority of us have been inspired by him. So he has a couple of questions that he would like to ask you. So Dan, your questions, please.
So you make non-runners into runners? Okay, and then once they become runners, you keep going? All right, I just want to get this straight. I mean, you don't pass them on. You like, now you can run, we can run.
No, they keep coming back.
Okay, okay, just want to get it straight. Okay, now you're on.
Okay, good evening, Carl.
Come on, I'll invite on Sundays. It was yesterday.
It feels like a dream for most of us here with having you around. I have two questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, how did your training for the long jump differ from the sprint training that you did for the 100, 200, and 400 in terms of content and type?
Okay, first of all, let me get something straight. Daddy didn't run the 400, That's great.
Okay.
Even you couldn't have converted me to a 400 guy. But no, we kidding. But seriously, believe it or not, there was a lot of synergy between the two events. And one reason I was able to have success in both events is because I knew which event I did. A lot of young people come up to me and they say, I ask them, what's your event? Well, I run the 100 and the 200, or I run the hurdles. And I always tell them, give me one event, because you have to own one, and then you do the rest. So because of that, I owned the long jump. That was my event. I was a jumper. And so how I did it is that we trained 5 days a week, and we took the weekends off to recover. And so doing that, Monday through Friday, I trained as a sprinter. And then Tuesday and Thursdays, I would add the long jump workout on top of it. So yeah, so Monday we all sprint. I would sprint with the sprinters on the team, Leroy Burrell and Floyd Hurd and Mike Marsh. And then Tuesday we would take starts all the time. And then after the starts, I'd go over and do a long jump workout. Then Wednesday we'd go back to sprint, and then Thursday after starts again, I would go over and do long jump workout. So basically 2 days a week I did a double workout.
Okay.
So that's how I was able to manage it.
Okay. I have another question for you. How much of power training and type did you do in your
Power
training?
like lifting and everything?
Yeah, lifting, whether it was just body weight biometrics or you did weighted power training.
Okay.
Well,
Well, you know what? That's a very good question. So when I competed, everyone here, listen to this. I did not lift weights. No, I didn't, and that's one of the things you have to be careful about now. I actually started working with athletes at the University of Houston this year, and one thing I've noticed is I think there's such an emphasis on weightlifting and strength. I think it's overemphasized because at the end of the day, when you lift weights, you get stronger, right? Yeah. But you also gain weight. Now, you cannot gain the strength to actually take care of that weight even more. It's harder to do it. So if you gain 10 pounds of muscle, then it's a lot more difficult. In essence, most cases, you're not strong enough to carry that extra 10 pounds. And so to give you an example, have any of you watched a horse race on TV?
Yeah.
Yes. You've watched it, right? You ever seen any 6-foot jockeys?
No.
So that's the example right there. But what we did is that we did plyometrics, which is box drills and stadium steps. Stadium steps are great. Running hills are great. So we didn't do a lot of like pulling flags and all this kind of stuff because my coach was really pretty simple. They used to try to give us like the bungee cords and all that stuff. And he says, I don't want all of this stuff. And they say, why don't you use that, Tom? He goes, I've never seen a person run a race with a bungee cord. I've never seen a person run a race with a flag. And if you want to learn to lift instead of going through all this other stuff, run up the hill because you have to push it down on the ground. So that's what we did. We kept it very, very simple. And I still believe that.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
My colleague here has some questions for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Daniel. Carl, I forgot to mention, Daniel has run 27 marathons, full marathons across the world. and he's still running. So yeah, he's going strong. And we have Melvin Prasto, who's another coach with the Nike Plus Run Club in Mumbai, and has been with the club for the last 6 years.
Okay. Does everyone know him?
Yeah.
Yes! All right, good. Okay, so far away, what do you have? Question.
As you know, starts is a very important part of sprints.
Yes.
So, during your training program, what type of sprint, the starts you take? Was it, a bullet start or elongated or medium?
Well,
what would you prefer?
Okay, and the way you asked it was good, because what Coach Tellez believed that there was a perfect model to the way to run, the way to take starts, the way to jump. So we were all trying to emulate the perfect model. So the thing is, it starts with this. What is the purpose of the start? So let's ask. So we're going to do this together. We're going to work on this. Now all of a sudden we're a team. So what's the purpose of a start? What's the purpose of the start?
Get a good start and accelerate.
Okay, to get a good start and accelerate. Well, here's what happens. Actually, I could probably be, if I did a standing start, right? I could probably be me doing a start from the ground. It's faster to be up. Now, why is that? Why do you think it's faster? Why do you think I could probably get a faster start if I was up as opposed to down? Why do you think? Do you want to take a stab?
Because of the body weight. It's in front.
You're in the running gait when you're in the running gait, so you don't have to move up. You're just running.
Simple. Exactly. You don't have to kill it. So, the purpose of the start for us, and you're exactly right. The purpose of the start. Did you understand what she said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The purpose of the start is to get you into a running position. So what we did is we drove ourselves to try to get up to a running position, because a lot of people say, oh no, you got to stay down and drive phase and all this kind of stuff. So I tell them, okay, look, if you come up here on stage, little man, and I need someone to give me an example here. Now, so people always say you have to kind of drive and stay low and all that, right? Bend over right here. No, wait, so stand up. Just bend over, like that. Now, how fast do you think he can run like that? How fast do you think he can run like that? You think he can run fast like that? He knows he can't run fast. So the objective is to get up. So what we did is that we drove ourselves up into a running position. Usually by the third step, we were up and running, because you can't accelerate unless you're up and running. And that's part of the thing that's happening now that I see, is that people are in the weight room getting strong so they can stay low and just push. But in reality, you have to come up and run. Thank you, young man. No, give me some. Just a little touch. Really, give me a smack. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. On the front side, on the back side. Come on the back side. There we go. Okay. And then. I used to watch TV in the 70s. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my another question. Acceleration is a very important phase in sprints. And there comes a time when you decelerate.
Yes.
So how did you manage, how did you train for that deceleration? To shorten the deceleration and, to lengthen the acceleration phase?
Look, first of all, we did not believe in phases. The 100 meters was one race. Now, how long can you run full speed? How long can you maintain full speed? I'm asking you a question.
Around 20 seconds.
Full speed. How long can you run, human being run at his top full speed? Yes. How long will it last?
Around
60 meters? What does everyone else say? 6 seconds?
5-6 seconds.
5-6 seconds. So that's the consensus? 5-6 seconds?